welcome back to another episode of Shell and Tell. This video is brought to you in partnership with CEPI Youth. CEPI Youth is part of the Bredora Lakes Collaborative Environmental Planning Initiative. My name is Lauren and I am a scientific communicator with Back to the Sea, and I am so excited to talk to you about a very special animal today. Today I'm going to be talking about the American eel, or Godot as called by the Mi'kmaq people of Nova Scotia. Now, before today, I bet you thought eels might be pretty scary or gross, but I bet by the end of this video, I'll be able to reveal to you just how awesome the American eel is. Now, what is an eel? They're really long, they're really slithery, and they look a lot like a snake, don't they? Well, they're actually a type of fish. American eels range in different colors depending on if they're babies or adults. So baby American eels are actually transparent or see-through, and they're a completely different shape than the adult eels. Once the eels reach adulthood, however, they can range in colors with a silver or white belly and a dark green or brown back, just like these guys. Say hi to my eel friends. American eels are actually a really cool fish species because they can survive in both marine and freshwater environments, one of the only fish species to be able to do this. In fact, they actually have one of the longest ranges of all fish species. You can find them all the way from the Caribbean to Greenland. But opposite to most fish species that survive both in freshwater and marine environments, American eels will go to the ocean to have their babies and then return to freshwater to grow. American eels are nocturnal hunters, which means that they wait all day until it's dark outside to go and hunt for their food. This also means they must be pretty skilled hunters to find all of their food when it's dark. The American eel is a really important species to the Mi'kmaq people of Nova Scotia. For thousands of years, the Mi'kmaq have used these eels for food, medicine, and in ceremonies. The Mi'kmaq hunt these eels year-round, and they have very special tools for catching them in the summer and in the winter. However, it is really important to the Mi'kmaq to treat these eels with respect. So that means never taking more than they need and not wasting any part of the eel. Over many, many years, they've actually learned that all of the eel can be used and is really important. So sometimes they'll use the oil to treat earaches, all of the meat can be eaten, and the skin they can use to make moccasin shoes. Unfortunately, the status of these eels is not doing too well, and they're actually considered endangered in a lot of parts of Canada. They face a lot of threats like dams that act as barriers to their habitat, overharvest by commercial fishing, climate change effects like water temperature increase, pollution, and parasites. American eels are a really important species to protect, not only because they're so important in so many Indigenous cultures, but also the role that they play in a lot of different food webs. So these eels eat a lot of bugs just to make sure that their populations don't get too out of control, and a lot of other animals like mammals and birds rely on these eels for a food source. Currently, there are a lot of initiatives in place trying to protect the American eel, and it's really important to remember to incorporate Indigenous knowledge in these initiatives. Indigenous people in Nova Scotia and in Canada have been living here for thousands of years, and they know more about the American eel than anybody else. Sometimes they'll witness them feeding vertically like this, and that's how they know that a lightning storm is coming. They've also sometimes seen the eels feeding in the spring or the fall in big balls all stacked together, which is super neat. So Indigenous people can offer a lot of really important information about the species, also including historical ranges, which is really important to scientists when trying to decide what habitat and what areas to protect for the American eel. Together, Indigenous, science, and government groups are working together to help protect the American eel. Well, that's all I've got for this episode of Shell and Tell. I hope you have a newfound love for the American eel just like I do, and we'll see you next time. Bye!